So welcome everybody to our final pre-conference town hall for OLC Live before Accelerate in Orlando. I want to welcome one and all. And I'm Clark Shaw Nelson. I'm the co-chair of OLC Live along with Angela Gunder, who has also joined us. And it's just great to see so many of you here today, lots of new faces and new names. And what we wanted to do for our last town hall was to talk a little bit about some of the things that you can expect if it's your first time or maybe you haven't been to the conference for a while, and help prepare you for the trip. There are oftentimes things that we forget when we're packing and so on. And so we've got some very special guests. Before we do that, I'll just mention that we have one of our OLC Live committee members, Matthew Romanowski from University of Arizona, is live tweeting here, and you can follow along at hashtag OLC Live. And these are also hashtags that you can use when you're at the conference, before you go to the conference, after the conference. The OLC Accelerate, of course, OLC Virtual if you're a virtual participant, and OLC Live for all the OLC Live activities. We also are going to have OLC Live activities during the conference that are streaming online. You can participate whether you're at the conference, whether you're a virtual attendee, or whether you're just a human being anywhere in the world. And that includes an online international summit on openness that we'll be mentioning as well toward the end of the session. But we are asking all you folks out there to participate in our salons, escape room, design battle, annotate-a-thon, and so on, if you'd like to. So without further ado, let's get started with our final town hall, pack your bags, last minute trip tips. And I'll go ahead and start by introducing, well, first of all, asking you to keep your microphones muted if you're not speaking, please. Down in the lower left, hit the mute icon. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce our co-conference chairs, Sherri and Tracy, who are going to tell you a little bit more about the conference.
Hi guys, this is Sherri. I am so excited to be serving with Tracy. I'll just say a couple quick things and then pass it off to Tracy. Like one of our other attendees, Phylise, was mentioning a minute ago, I've been involved for, I don't even know, 15, 20 years, however long, a long time. And so it has been so exciting to watch this. One of the things Tracy and I have been watching evolve is this is our 25th year. And you may have seen in the chat, we just put hashtag We Are OLC. And so that's something I just want you to see if you've not been following along with that. We have so many wonderful things that we are tagging and we're including. I'm going to drop a quick little link into the chat now for you. This is actually the area on our website where we're doing all of our celebrations for the We Are OLC. And you can see we have a digital board where you can upload photos from previous conferences you've attended. So I encourage you to take 1 million photos while you're on site. Definitely share those out, use social media, post them to our board, and just get to know everybody, whether you're virtual, whether you're on site. This is probably one of the friendliest groups I've ever met, right? So we're super approachable and easy to come and speak to. So let us know if you need anything at all. Tracy, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks so much, Sherri. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited about this program and celebrating this amazing milestone for OLC. We really have an exceptional program, I think, put together for you. We've had a really great group of people who have just had so much inspiration and have such passion for bringing online learning and online education to this community. And I just can't wait to see everybody just to see everybody's faces kind of light up with these inspirational stories that we're going to hear from our keynote speakers, to our Best in Track seminars, to these new gamified sessions that you're all going to have an opportunity to participate in, all the way to the technology test kitchen and our new the escape room that they have got planned this time. I'm telling you, it is going to be awesome. So I really can't wait for all of you to have an opportunity to not only engage in all the fun, exciting stuff, but to also meet some new people, understand and connect with some new colleagues and contemporaries in this space of online learning. You know, it might be 25 years in the making here, but there's still so much more to learn and so much more for us to do and engage in. And I can't wait to meet some of you who I haven't yet had a chance to meet otherwise than on these virtual meeting spaces, etc. And if you have never been before, make sure that you take advantage of our field guides. They have an amazing program put together for you to help you get connected, to help you navigate all the different programming pieces that we have to offer. And that's a really great way to get started if you haven't ever been before. And if you've been a million times, they're also a great resource to go to just to kind of touch base and say, hey, you know, I've been a million times and I think I know my way around, but what's new? What's different? Because every time there's always something different that I learn each time I go. So kudos to everybody who's done this. And thank you for everybody who has attended today. I can't wait to get to see you all. And if you see me and you need anything, reach out and let me know.
Hey, thanks. You know, I want to lob a question at you. I'm curious about the keynotes in particular. Could you just give a quick rundown about the keynotes for everybody?
Yeah, go right ahead, Sherri.
I got it. So I am actually going to share, in case you guys haven't seen this, on Wednesday, we actually have, if you'll look at the chat, I'm dropping a quick link there for you to take a look at. That is a quick link to Talithia Williams. So she's going to actually be doing an incredible presentation talking about the interesting streamline between data and inclusion and a STEM field. There's just so many interesting pieces that are going to cross, whether you're faculty or instructional designers or an administrator, you're going to love her, and she's a great speaker, so you're going to really enjoy her. And then on Friday, we actually have our closing keynote, which is Ross Dawson, and give me a second. There you go. And so there's a direct link to Ross's presentation as well. And as you can see, his is the next 25 years. So it's a play off of we're 25 years old. And so Ross is going to be addressing what's to come and kind of is taking a visionary approach of what to expect with the trends. So we are overjoyed to have both a starter with Talithia and then Ross capping it off on Friday afternoon.
So awesome. And you know, it brings to mind too, the 25th anniversary. It's also, Tracy had mentioned the Technology Test Kitchen. Believe it or not, it's the 5th anniversary of the Technology Test Kitchen. And now it seems hard to believe.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite parts of the conference. So
highly recommended. And for anyone who doesn't know, you basically will take the escalator down into the area where all the vendors are, and you'll find it down there with, in its own special space, and it's definitely not to be missed.
And
also,
just in case anybody's thinking that the Technology Test Kitchen is only for technology people, it's not. I am not an instructional designer. I'm not on the technology side, and it is one of my favorite places to go to learn more about all of these great technologies that I don't get to use every day. So don't be intimidated, go embrace it and have fun.
And you also mentioned the field guides. I'll just point out to anyone who's new, when you come into the Dolphin, there's this big, huge atrium with a beautiful, lovely, fountain, all this stuff. And then you walk back to where the conference area is, and that's where registration is. Well, right across from registration is going to be a field guide station where you can talk with field guides, see the engagement maps, start to get your bearings, maybe get a little mini tour and so on, look in the booklet and see the map of where the rooms are and so on. And that's a great place to get started, especially if it's your first time to connect with them. Does anyone in our audience have a question you want to put in the chat for our co-conference chairs, Tracy and Sherri? Because this is a great opportunity to pose a question for our co-conference chairs. Of course, you can find them at the conference, but there's thousands of people there. What are the chances you're going to end up on the escalator with Tracy at the same time, or Sherri? So now's a good chance. If you have a quick question you want to ask them, pop it into the chat or enable your microphone. And
I'll have Minnie Mouse ears on the majority of the time. You can find me.
Very cool. Here we go. We did get one. Okay, and it's been answered, right? Excellent. Well, thank you both very much for being here and welcoming us. And we're super excited for what you've done for the conference and to all come together either virtually or in Orlando. There was a question. What will our roles be for virtual? Now it's just moved on me. What will our roles be as virtual volunteers? What is a must-see for a newbie? How about that? You want to field that question?
So, okay, so must see for a newbie. I know this is going to be really biased for those of you who know me really well, but this is so different of a conference. I'm going to say try to pick at least one session of each session type. Okay, so go to one that's a gamified, go to one that's an education, and go to my favorite, which is the discovery sessions. And I have at least one of my people are here who's going to be doing a discovery session as well. I see her in the audience. And so try to go to one of each session type and really get your feet wet. So you have an idea of, wow, if I have the idea of submitting to a conference proposal next year, now I know what these formats are. And I'm really comfortable with gamified, or I'm really comfortable with discovery session poster presentation formats. Try to get your feet wet with that. And then this conference, more than any other conference, has so many opportunities for socializing. All the way through the day. So coffee breaks and lunches and dinners and receptions, you can't not socialize if you choose to. And then, as will be talked about later, there will also be other things you can do that are less socializing. So I'll just wait on those.
I ditto all of that. That's great. Great advice, as always, Sherri.
It's funny too, because it's, Disney is there, and it's like when you go to Disney, like, where do we go first? There's so many options. What should I do? Should I go to this or to that? Which ride should I do? And it's pretty similar here. Well, again, thank you both very much. I want to go ahead and introduce our next special guests for the day, who I'm really pleased to be able to introduce because I've worked with both of these folks in the Technology Test Kitchen for several years. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that Phylise Banner was there the very first time I went to a Sloan C Online Learning Consortium conference, and I wrote about it in the blog post and so on. If you can go check out on the website. But I want to introduce Phylise Banner and Dr. Ann Musgrove, who are here, who've literally been to this conference like 20 times or something like that. So we have some serious veterans here who can give you some serious insider knowledge. So Phylise and Ann, take it away.
Thanks, Clark. So yes, my name is pronounced Phylise, and I have been around for a long time here with what was formerly the Sloan Consortium and now OLC. Thanks for having us. And Ann?
I'm very happy to be here. Apparently I can't talk, which is what I do for a living. On the Disney part, let me tell you that you can walk to both Epcot, and if you're a little enthusiastic, you can also walk to Hollywood Studios, which is, I think, where all the new cool Star Wars stuff is.
So Clark, yeah, and Clark, I can't advance the slides, but I know I threw some slides in there. So what did you do? I can't, I'm not seeing the screen right here.
Oh, you're not?
No.
I am.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just let me know when to advance them. I'll advance them there.
Okay. So I've got my advice on kind of once you're there, and like Clark is saying, and other folks are saying, there's so many spaces and so many places around, but it's really like find a place to sit and reflect, or write in your journal. And you'll see that there are chairs around all over, and there are quiet places that you can find. I was recently at another conference and they had a quiet room with puppies in it. I'm like, oh my God, that's insane. But find a place where you can sit, that maybe it's your room, or just get away and have time to think. Find a place where you can meet people. And like Clark was saying, you'll come in and then there's the registration area, and across from it is, but look up and find a sign, because you're going to want to meet somebody again. And it's always, hey, Clark, meet me by the, right? Or Ann, meet me by the. and it's, you know, it's the registration desk often, or it could be by where the, or meet me by the bar, as Anne has put in there. But, you know, and then also sometimes I'll meet someone and it'll be like, oh, this would be a great thing to collaborate on. Where could we sit and actually meet, right? And I have had, I mean, we have had meetings at the restaurant by the pool, right? We've had meetings in right in the main area when you come in. There's some chairs in there, but where could you have a meeting? Where can you like go to exercise and even just go for a walk? And it's like, don't be afraid to go outside. You can get back in, right? So even if you need to leave for a couple minutes and just go for a walk, there's space within. And I know there's maps, and I think there's walking groups in the morning. And also hydrate, 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 hydrate. And that's why I had me next to a water cooler, because it's the one thing I never do. And then I find myself like waning by the end of the day. But also sometimes it's overwhelming, right? And you're, you know, you'll go to session after session after session and you fill your brain up and it's fantastic. And then you feel like you're just going to pass out. So not necessarily your room, or maybe you need your room, but find a place you can escape to, whether it's you need to journal some more, you need to check your email or something, but kind of walk around and kind of get to know the lay of the land once you get there. You'll see the field guides, they'll have their funky hats on, and you can, you know, ask anyone that running around looking like they know where they're going, but really situate yourself so that you know where you are. Take those moments to get to know where you are and where you can have a meeting, where you can connect with others. Right, Anne?
Yeah, and I would say, as far as the word hydrate goes, I don't know what the weather's going to be like. And again, I live in Fort Lauderdale, so I consider a pool that's below 80 degrees unswimmable. But they have a beautiful pool complex, and they have probably 5 or 6 hot tubs. So even if it's chilly in the evening, you can still jump in a hot tub. They just have, I love water, and they just have a beautiful pool area. So try to make it out there at some point.
And if you're not following the chat right now, Christine and Katie just posted some great information that there's meditation, functional fitness, and yoga, and talk about each day. And the idea of a talk about is let's walk and talk. So, you know, it's not about secluding yourself from others. It's about still being involved and moving if your body, you know, that's what your body needs.
And at the same time, if you want seclusion and quiet, there's the sanctuary where you can go and have serious quiet time. Exactly.
Next slide, Clark.
You got it.
My slides. I wish you could see what I can see on my end, because it's like things are overlapping other things. So I can't tell you how many times I forget everything I need. And as you're packing to get ready to go, you know, bring your charging cables, bring extra charging cables for your phones. There are, you know, someone will have the same phone that you have, someone will have the same computer you have, it's highly likely, but bring those charging cables anyway, and extra power. I love my power packs, because sometimes you may go, you know, you might be out and you want to take notes on your phone, or you want to take pictures, or I take notes on my phone during sessions. I'm taking pictures of slides, things like that. I've always got that extra power. And you never know when you might want to display something. So bring those connectors, those dongles, and don't forget your monogram dongle bag. Right, Angela? Gotta have your monogram dongle bag. I think we're going to start offering those as giveaways.
Bring 2 if you have them.
You have 2. I only have 1. So.
I will admit that they were a gift, but they are definitely essential.
So yes, absolutely. And hundreds of business cards. If you don't have business cards, go to Staples and get the kind you can break apart so that you have them, or go to one of those kiosks where you can order them. And even if it's not for your institution and it just has your name and your email and your phone number, bring business cards with you, because the vendors and the exhibit hall, they're all giving things away. Or even though Anne usually wins things, because she's not going to be there this year, someone else will have a chance to win. But also just for a quick exchange of, you know, here's my number, stay in touch. If you don't have them, get them and bring a pile of them. I go through maybe 150 to 200 business cards at least when I'm at Accelerate. the
Oh, let me tell you the way you win everything.
Yeah.
Pick the drawings that you have to be present to win, because lots of people aren't present. So, you know, if you want something, look for the ones where you have to be there at a certain time, and that really helps.
So the sacred satchel is something someone taught me a long time ago, and I go to a lot of conferences, and a lot of times they give you a bag at the conference, and your bag looks just like everyone else's bag, right? And I don't know if there are bags at OLC this year or not, but if you're going to bring a bag, a tote bag of some sort, bring one that stands out, that will not get lost in the crowd, that you won't put down. I've got my backpack, it's got a big ring on it. If it's a thing you hold dear, that you're carrying everything around with you, put a big tag on it. You know, if it's got Hello Kitty on there, it's mine. That's, you know, mark your stuff so it's easy to find, easy to put down, and you're going to want to carry things around. Someone may give you, you know, their cards or a brochure or something, or you may win something from the, you know, do something fun in the test kitchen, want to take home Lego, bring that bag with you. Sunglasses, always got to bring your sunglasses with you. And the dots. Now the dots are my secret, and I swore I'd never tell anybody about the dots, but I'm telling you about the dots now. And don't ever ask me what color dot is on your card that you give me. But I bring along tiny little stickers or stars in my bag, and I get, because I used to, somebody would give me a business card and I'd say, oh, this one's important, and I put it right in my badge holder, or I put it in my pocket, and then I couldn't remember what were the important ones. So for the important ones, they get a certain color dot on them, and then I just get a big pile of business cards, and when I get back, I take them apart. So if it's about, you know, if you're going and you want to network and you want to remember things, write notes on the back, I bring my dots with me.
So all the cool people get dots on their cards.
Well, people get different dots. Like, you know, one is, I want to do research with this person, right? The other one is, I want this person to hire me. So it's all different. Or make sure you connect, or, you know, writing notes and things like that. But what else do people need to bring in? Oh, you're muted.
A bathing suit? Am I off topic?
Yeah, but that's okay.
But definitely, like you say, it's warm there. There's the pool, the hot tubs. Bathing suit comes in very handy.
There's a refrigerator in the room, so if you want to bring yourself some snacks and some food, or, you know, a beer or something from home, or you want to buy them in the store, there are refrigerators in all the rooms. See, I actually go up there for a vacation sometimes in the summer, just for a few days, because I'm 3 hours away. I just love the pool, so that's how come I can't stop talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, make sure you bring some comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
Ouch. And sometimes it is so freezing on the vendor floor, especially. Yeah. You're definitely going to want a sweater, and sometimes even gloves for me.
Yeah, so that's true. A sweater, yeah, things. And so this was, I don't know why, this is me and my friendly Bacon telling me which sessions to go to, and got me started on the Bitmojis. So when you're selecting sessions, and you know, I do this, I go online, I look through everything in advance, what's there, at what time of day. I know that I love the morning sessions. I'm really sharp, I'm really, you know, ready to go. And by the afternoon, I know I need a break. So I take a look online. What do I want to go to? Always pick your number 2 and even maybe the 3rd, because sometimes you will come to the door and it will be packed and you won't be able to get in. And think about, the field guides will be there to help you if you're interested in a pathway. There are engagement maps about a pathway. But I loved this, the advice that Tracy gave. Try to go to one of every session type, right? So get to a gamified session, and get to a session on, you know, the discovery sessions also. And I highly recommend going to sessions that are off your topic, right? And it may be that, you know, you're doing a lot of stuff with gamification at your institution, and you see these sessions on gamification and you want to go to the ones on open educational resources. Go to the ones on data analytics, right? Open your open your scope as you're going there, and consider that pathway through how you want to go through, and then just ask somebody, right? What sessions would you recommend? What would you go see? Who do you think I really should list? Go have a conversation with, and that go off the beaten path, and then give yourself time. Like, you don't have to go to every session. And I remember being completely overwhelmed from going to every single session, right? And just back to back to back to back. And also, what I didn't put on here, I might have put it on the next one, is find a way that you can take notes. And even if it's you go back to that space in the hallway or go out to the hallway and just record yourself on your phone. And it's like, oh, I really love this session. This was, this was really interesting. Remember to follow up on this. I leave myself notes all the time as I'm talking to myself, because I have bacon for a friend. I could talk to my friend, the bacon strip. So, Anne, any advice on selecting sessions?
You're muted.
Yeah. Keegan, that's a great info there. If you meet somebody new and want to connect with them further, go to their session. Excellent.
Let's see if I can unmute Anne here.
I unmuted myself. I was trying to say that they do have microwaves. They're with the ice machines, but they're only on certain floors. So I guess they have them for people that have need baby bottles warmed up and stuff like that. But they're with the ice machines, but only on certain floors. So just ask somebody at the hotel. Like I said, I go there as often as possible. As far as sessions go, I've got to tell you that I have been in the technology test kitchen for the entire conference the last 4 times I've been. So I've just never been able to get out of the technology test kitchen very much, other than Best in Tracks are always really good ones to go to.
Oh yeah, Best in Tracks are great. And the discovery sessions I love, because you can take your time. You can take your time and move through their content, and you can engage with the presenters typically. So, and yep, we got featured presentations, all worth a look. But really go through, this is my number 1 choice, this is my number 2 choice, and mark those things down. Can someone give some insight into the app and the way you can mark sessions on the app this year?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. So the newest app release, which just came out over the weekend, because we are, bear with me while I try to explain this, but because we're undergoing some authentication upgrades on our back end for this particular conference, we had to remove the login in the app requirement in order for you to have your custom schedule, just to make things easier and not have to have everybody, reset multiple passwords and log in through different layers. Like I said, authentication upgrades in the back end, ongoing. So in order to make things a little bit more streamlined for this conference, you no longer have to log in to use your schedule feature on the app, but everything refers to a schedule ID on the app now. So you can go ahead and go through the sessions listing on the app and just tap on the little flag icon, and that'll add it to your schedule. It might take 10 or 20 seconds to refresh to show up in your schedule, and there's a little slider thing on the bottom of the app that will be able to filter all sessions versus your flag sessions. The other thing to know is that if you've created your schedule on the website already, there is a way for you to import that schedule into your mobile app, so you don't have to do it all over again. You'll need to log into your OLC user account on the website, and then under the My Schedule tab of the program listing, you should see a user ID. If you don't see that, you should refresh your browser cache, because again, like I said, this was kind of implemented recently, end of last week. So you may need to refresh your browser cache to see your user ID. Once you have that, if you go onto My Account in your mobile app, you'll see a place where you can actually enter your user ID to import your schedule that way. So it's a little different than it's been in previous years. We will have instruction sheets available at the field guide station and at the power hour. So if you need help, we also have the IT help desk, which is in the convention foyer near the conference registration. And Robert will be there and be able to help you if there are any problems with that as well.
Great. And Katie, can you flag more than one session in the same time slot?
You can.
Good.
Absolutely. You can flag as many sessions as you want in however many session time slots as you want. So the trick is that you just kind of need to pay attention. Yeah. And the schedule area of the mobile app does have tabs by date, but it will always stay on the first day of the conference. So you will have to manually move
to the
next day. You know, we keep it that way intentionally because people use the app before the conference, people use the app after the conference. So there isn't really a good way for us to have it show just the current day because people use it, like I said, before and after the conference. So, but you will have to manually just tap on the date tab that you want. And down at the bottom of that screen, you can filter by all sessions, which is everything for that day, or you can filter by my schedule, which is just the things that you flagged for that day.
So I recommend, using the app, going in, flagging sessions that you want to go to, and even if it's more than one in the same time slot, just so that they're there. Yeah.
Hey, looking at that piece of bacon is making me think about the food options there. And there are, of course, there are some breakfasts that are provided and so on. There's a lot of opportunity for people to go out and eat on their own especially in the evenings. And I'm wondering what kind of tips, Anne and Phylise, you have there.
Well, Clark, as one who rents a car so that we can all go get Thai food or Vietnamese food.
Or lends their car when I drive up.
Yeah, I would think we rented a van one year to do that. But
I can remember somebody being illegally in the back of a van.
Yeah, there is a great Japanese place in the Dolphin, and they do have karaoke, and they're really good with large crowds. That place is good. Some of the restaurants in the hotel are quite expensive, but
how about going to Disney Springs? Taking the bus over?
You can go over to Disney Springs, and if you do go over to Disney Springs and you happen to see the amphi cars at the boat launch, know that I have had an amphi car my entire life. So I've actually had 5 of them. I grew up in an amphi car family. So when you see them, wave at them for me. I don't charge
and her husband owns a plane.
I don't charge $75 a ride. So if you're anyone on this call, if you're ever in Saratoga Springs, New York, free ride in the amphi car with me. But there are tons of places to eat there. But there is there's the one restaurant that's downstairs. It's like the diner right in the space that's it's.
Oh yeah, kimonos. No, kimonos is the peekaboo. It's called peekaboo.
Yeah, peekaboo. That's downstairs, and then there's like the Mexican place that's the little buffet area. We kind of go down and get in line, and we've eaten. I think Angela Gunder.
Yeah, that's peekaboo.
Angela and I have had tacos way late at night in that space.
Yeah, so Phylise and I tend to be energized by the conference and the connections, and we never stop talking. So that means that sometimes we forget to eat, and you can look around and feel like, oh my gosh, what's still open? And peekaboo it's like really hidden, peekaboo. And but when you find it, just know that if you're a late night owl, not only can you find a good bite there or bring back food to your room, but you can also find people that are there from the conference. So if you see Phylise and I down there or Clark down there, just come and sit with us. Yeah. Have a nacho.
At 11 o'clock at night. But there's a lot of food at the conference, and there's a lot of snacks here and there, and things pop up like in the afternoon. It's like, oh wait, there's popcorn somewhere. But I would say whatever it takes your body to keep yourself nourished, whether it's hydration or food or silence or noise, whatever it is, make sure you feed yourself, feed your brain, feed your heart. And so, Clarky, I've got one more slide, I think.
All righty. 1 second here. Here we go.
There it is. And that's my comfortable seat thing. So I have a lot of trouble sitting for a long period of time, which, you know, I've been in the technology test kitchen since we launched it, standing up most of the day, and I'm actually really happy there. But to sit in a session for an hour is not easy for me. So, you know, I move around. It's like get up and walk, find a comfortable seat. And you'll see some people sitting on the floor or something like that. So I'm going to tell you, I bought for $9 an inflatable footrest. And I got to tell you, I was first embarrassed to go to a session and put out my footrest and sit on my chair. And I got to tell you, I don't care anymore because I am comfortable. And I'm old enough to say I need to be comfortable and let me find my own way. But really find a comfortable space because, you know, you want to be in there. Find your ways to take notes, whether it's on your device, on a piece of paper, on photos. One of my favorite things to do is when someone's holding up their camera to take a picture of the slide, to get a picture of them holding up their camera, taking a picture of the slide. It's my favorite picture. I'm starting to collect those. But I've got my you know, stay till the end. If you're in there, you commit to a session when you come in the room. I highly encourage you to stay to the end and be in a position to hightail it out of there at the end if you really didn't like it, and go to the next one. Other people will tell you, oh, if you don't like it, just leave. For me, it's like stay to the end and see if there's anything you can get out of that. And maybe you can think of something in your own brain if the session's not working. But hover, if you like that and you want to get to know that speaker, hover, do it. Wait outside the door. You know, these are the moments where we make these connections. And even if, you know, you have something to contribute and you don't want to say it until everyone's left the room or the room's got to empty out so the next session can come in, find a place and have your card and give it to the speaker and say, meet me, you know, by the fountain at 3 o'clock so I can talk to you more, you know, love your brain type of thing. Oh, Christine's putting mimosas in the chat, so I'm distracted, right?
Well, she mentioned the closing session, which is an important aspect too, because of course there are mimosas and the closing session is always a lot of fun. Also, another thing in my mind at the end is staying for the closing, but also giving yourself enough time at the airport, because I found every single year that line at the security, the security line at the airport is pretty spectacular. So don't hedge your bets on getting there an hour before your flight has been my experience. You really want to do that 2 hours for a domestic flight, given that line at the security at the airport.
And they, like, if you're taking the shuttle and the shuttle says they're going to pick you up 3 hours early, and you kind of roll your eyes, I don't want to, you know, be picked up 3.5 hours early. There's a reason why.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about places, you know, about staying in the hotel, and a lot of times you don't have a lot of choice where you end up. But we were talking about because there's a west wing and an east wing and I think a north wing or something like that. And we were talking about that if you can get in the east wing, if you want to, that's the closest to the actual conference you can really get. The west wing is the farthest away from the conference, but the closest to the pool area. So that's just something to note, you know, jot down maybe when you're at the desk. You can bring it up with the people working there if you want to see if you can try to get in a place that you prefer. What else are we forgetting here? Rooms, food places. Also, if anyone in the audience has questions, please put them in the chat, or we can open up your mics as well. I'd
like to add one more thing, and then, you know, Anne, I'm sorry I keep chatting on and on.
Oh, no, by all means, go.
What you're going to see at OLC are groups of people standing together. And those groups of people will be standing together, and they may all know each other, and they'll be having a deep conversation. Do not be afraid to walk up and insert yourself in that group. These are groups of people who are open to new members, to new people, to meeting new people. Just come up and say, hi, I'm new. Who are you? Right? And it is, you know, doesn't matter if they're all wearing 7,000 ribbons on their name tags or lapel pins and they look important. Walk up and introduce yourself, because this whole conference is about sharing. It's about conversation. It's about learning together. And I can't stress that enough. I try so hard when I'm there to just, meet new people and to say, hey, is this your first time? Tell me about, what are you doing? What are your challenges? And, really insert yourself into these groups. And the OLC staff and volunteers do a fantastic job of bringing people in and getting people together in, in dining events or in, in conversations. So if you see somebody that's on this call and you say, hey, who else can I talk to? Or where's anybody going for dinner? Just throw yourself in that group.
Yes, exactly. And another good point about that, yeah, I was just trying to mute somebody. I heard eating some chips or something. But another good one is the Slack channel. So if you go under the Field Guide program on the website, you can join the Slack team there, where you also can, it's another good way to network with people, to communicate with them, to meet up over food, or meet up and go to Disney, or meet up and go to the pool, those types of things, and exchange notes. So that's another good way to stay in contact with people after you meet them. And I think there are like 400 some people in that Slack team. So there's a fairly good chance that they're in there, or they can be, definitely. So that's another good thing to keep in mind. In terms of networking, meeting people, going to be a lot of rich conversations, new ideas. Your head will get full of ideas. I oftentimes get overstimulated, and that's another reason for things like the sanctuary is a place quiet where you can go, have some quiet, recharge your phone, recharge your own internal batteries. There's infused water and tea and so on in there. It's just a delightful getaway as well when you need to recharge.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say if you're ever, in these situations and people say something and talk about someone as if you should know them, stop them and ask them, who is that? Or what is that? Right? So, there's a lot of familiarity in this space, and please stop folks.
Awesome. Let's see if we have a couple more questions in the chat over here. Folks, do we have some first timers in here? I'm thinking among the many people here, we must have a couple first timers who are wondering what is all this about. Okay, Dana. Ted Finch is a second timer. Excellent. Holly is a first timer. Jessica, wonderful. It's great to have you here, and it's a good way for you to get to know a few of the folks that you're going to be there, ask a few questions, and so on. It can often be overwhelming, that's for sure. There's so much variety, so many people, and that's why we're here to help get that community started for you.
Yeah, Clark, it's Christine. I wanted to point out to the first timers that they should really consider coming to the Field Guide Power Hour on Wednesday morning. We'll have breakfast there, and the field guides, the whole purpose of that is that they'll sit down with you and go through the program and help you select the sessions you want to go to, the activities that you want to be involved in. You can just ask them questions, and it's really just a way to come get some help. Yeah, Angela says, come and see her at her table. So I wanted to mention that, and it's Asia 3, I think. It's right off of conference registration. We'll be able to point you right there.
It's Wednesday morning from 8 o'clock to 8:45 in Asia 3.
Thank you. I can't believe I knew that room off the top of my head.
Thank you, Christine and Katie. And Christine, are you taking the folks over to Disney again this year?
Oh, well, I wasn't planning on it, mainly because I tore the meniscus in my knee, so I'm moving very slowly.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so probably not this year, although if there's anybody who's needing assistance, let me know and I'll give you all the inside scoop. I lived in Orlando for years. I live in Florida. And one year I had one person come with me and she got the private tour of Magic Kingdom like she's never seen before. So it was a lot of fun.
Christina's our resident Disney expert. So yeah, well, we hope you have a speedy healing.
Oh, thanks.
All right, Jane Moore is here. Wonderful. Well, I think we're probably about ready to wrap this up, unless we have some more questions or comments in the chat, or from our folks.
Just tapping on top of what Dana was saying, the comfortable shoes and clothes. Note that some people do wear suits, and then at the end of the day, they change into their shorts and t-shirts. So really, business, professional, comfortable, and some extra clothes for those evening or morning hours.
All right. Well, I want to mention to everyone, while my dog barks a little here, that we have an international online summit on openness on the 19th. That's Tuesday, all day long. And the schedule is under OLC Live, and you're all invited. We're going to have folks speaking, giving provocations, very short provocations about openness in their regions from all over the world. And we'll be discussing and working with these ideas and producing a white paper and so on. So
if you come on there and contribute in any way, you'll be an author on the white paper. That's simple.
That's right. Exactly. So Angela and I hope to see you there on the 19th, if possible. And there's more information about that at this tiny little URL here, where you can see all of the sessions and the speakers and the times and so on. It basically runs from 8 in the morning Orlando time until 8:45 p.m., although there's a couple of breaks in there for things that are happening in Orlando as well. So definitely check that out if you're interested in participating in that. And there are a bunch of other OLC Live sessions that are going to be held throughout the conference as well that you're definitely invited to participate in.
There's some really great folks on that international summit, so I highly recommend it.
Awesome. All right. Well, that does it for this time, folks. We want to thank you so much for joining us here, and for Phylise and Anne sharing all of your ideas and helping these folks out for their first time. For Tracy and Sherri, our co-conference chairs, for helping us learn about the keynotes and get excited for this conference and celebrating 25 years. Of course, Katie and Christine and everybody from the OLC. So thank you again, everybody. And we hope you have a fantastic experience either in Orlando or online or both. And take care.
Bye. Thanks, Clark.